Hi, this is producer Mel's mom, Jan, a Crystal Palace supporter who doesn't quite understand why Mel spends so much time with this show instead of me. And you are listening to the DU Football Show.
You know who spent time with Jan today? Not her daughter.
I know, you did, I heard.
Me and Jan took in the match together today. It was a lovely afternoon.
How'd that go for you?
I mean, she was her normal pessimistic self, so fine. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Smells of a lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, my lovely esteemed co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing?
Not too bad, thank you, sir. How are you?
You feeling okay after the, 30 minutes of just ass-whooping you took on this weekend?
It was bad.
It was like everything was going fine. The plan was going great. And then on walks Jota. And then it all went to shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, the good news is at least you have a lovely shot of Malort waiting to comfort you.
Can't wait.
We're recording at Studio H, just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to follow, subscribe, review, share with your footballing friends. And should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sammy, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. You can get in touch with us via email at DUfootballshow@gmail.com. And then on the old interwebs, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, it is at DUfootballshow.
Excellent. And on Twitter, as you guys will be listening to this in the morning tomorrow or whenever, please go to Twitter, go to our Drunkard United Football main page. The pinned tweet has the start of our If Coaches Were Cocktails, and it is all one thread. So you can go through and favorite if you liked Sam's choice for a coach's cocktail, or retweet if you liked mine, and just go right through and do them all right in a row. They're just zip right through, nice and easy.
And if you want to hear why we thought they were that way, listen to the fucking show.
Yeah. It's a good response from some people about the show. That was a lot of fun to do last week.
It was a lot of fun. I was well into that.
I meant to put up Wolves and West Ham while they were playing each other. I did not. So I will be doing it after we record the show tonight.
Nice.
And the whole thread will be done. So by the time all of you are hearing this, there will be the thread for you guys to go and vote. And we would love to hear your opinion on that.
Please do.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Sammy, congratulations to you. Congratulations to me. We have completed the Whiskey Advocates Top 20 of 2020. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about the final whiskey we will be drinking?
Yes, we have. This is number 7 on the list. Elijah Craig Straight Rye. This is 94 proof, so 40%, 47% by volume.
Mm-hmm.
Runs you between $29.99 and $39.99 on the shelf. Elijah Craig always impresses with value, but until now has been confined to bourbon. This foray into rye whiskey sticks close to Elijah Craig's bourbon roots by using only the minimum required 51% rye in its mash bill. However, it does achieve a nice departure in flavor. Aromas include butterscotch, a little bit, caramel nut clusters. I only get the nut clusters, not the caramel, personally.
Heard.
And peppery spice, which is very common in pretty much all ryes. The spice ramps up on the palate, carried forward by a full-body hearty proof and mouth-coating texture as cherry cola, baking chocolate, and darker fruits emerge. Priced a notch below comparable peers, this rye delivers powerful flavors that feel exceedingly untamed and will impress bourbon and rye lovers alike. I tend to agree with him. It is delicious.
Yeah, I think the rare breed was a significantly better rye, but it was also double in shelf price. So treating this for a, $29 to $35.99 bottle of rye, it's real damn good. And sometimes you really do need to incorporate the cash coming out of your pocket for the bottle. I mean, we tell everybody to run out and go get a bottle of the Wild Turkey last week. It was also a $60 bottle. Like, something to be said there, Yeah,
absolutely. And this more often than not is closer to 30 than it is to 40.
Yeah.
But again, its presence on this list, people make an extra $5 from time to time.
Of course. Well, and this is one I had to find in Virginia because it is not available in DC or Maryland currently.
Yep.
And in fact, the fact that I picked up 2 bottles of this in Virginia is why we got the larceny, because I traded it with someone who represents larceny in the state of Maryland, and that's how we were able to get that bottle of larceny.
Exactly.
Oh, all right.
It was delicious though, and please remember to drink responsibly.
Great job. That was really fun to be able to do this year, Sammy.
Yeah, it really was, and I love that we stuck to our guns as well.
Oh yeah, no bullet. Screw you. We're not drinking
19 out of 20, full list complete.
Right.
Bullet doesn't fucking exist to us.
Right. We could have gotten it. We choose not to.
Yep.
And now, Sam, starting next week, all the fucking gin. All the gin.
Gin time.
Gin and tonicas all day long. It's time to celebrate Hanukkah, baby.
That's already happened.
You know the song.
I know.
Drink your gin and tonicas and smoke your marrow. I don't know with you in references. You don't typically know them.
I know that song.
You don't typically know them. I have to assume you don't. All right, let's have a good show, everybody. Wow.
Fucking hell, that's 2 weeks in a row, Mel.
I'm getting it fucking done.
Well done.
Holy shit, Graham. Tuchel suffers his first defeat in charge to the offensive powerhouse that is Big Sam Allardyce in West Brom. West Bromwich Albion 5, Chelsea 2. Pereira and Robertson with the 2 braces, and I guess Nkay decides to finally score as well.
Yes, he did. Chelsea absolutely dominated this game up until Thiago's red card, but the red card happened so early, about the 26th, 27th minute, that it gave West Brom a big chance to express themselves.
And to note, it's not a straightaway red. It was 2
yellows in quick succession.
And they were the most boneheaded fucking yellow. I mean, right in front of the ref. It was almost like he was trying to see, okay, ref, what are you going to let me get away with today? And the first yellow should have been a hint.
Could have been a red.
Not much.
That first one.
Right. That first yellow should have been, I'm not going to get away with much today. Then you go ahead and do it again.
Right. It was ridiculous. From such an experienced player as well. That obviously gave West Brom the impetus to push on. And Chelsea, obviously having much better players than West Brom, and the position that West Brom are in, their 10 men thought they could go after the game still. Left themselves a bit open. The aforementioned Pereira and eyes too close together. Callum Robinson.
Yes.
He both of them nab a brace, which was fantastic for them. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and Arsenal loanee, played very well in this game. He didn't actually register a goal or an assist, but he oft had the hockey assist, the goal, the pass before the pass to create the goal, which was it was awesome. At one point, Big Sam's over on the sidelines with his fucking feet up laughing.
I know.
Literally with his feet up on the
I'm watching that, and I'm like, motherfucker, you got nothing to do with why your team is winning 5-2. Nothing.
That's not true. That's not true. The goalkeeper had an assist.
Okay.
So it was archetypal Route 1 fucking football, that is Big Sam's influence. Back to front, it was a punt, evaded the entire defense, and Pereira ran. There was 2 players for West Brom offside, and Pereira was a little deeper. So the Chelsea defense kept running out, and Pereira slipped in behind them. Ball remained in the air.
Yep.
Fell right to him, and a decent little lob, actually, over Mendy.
Yeah.
The other 4 goals had nothing to do with Big Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
They were actually pretty, a lot of them.
After the presser, standing up there being all chesty like he's reinvented the wheel. Fuck you.
Yeah, right.
Fuck you.
It was bullshit.
Hey, I've meant to do that all along. That's how we play. Expansive footy. Like, fuck off, Sam. Fuck completely off. You
did
asshole.
you hear the reporter ask Big Sam? And you have this very proud record of having never been relegated. You know, what does this do for your chances to maintain that today? He said, well, you know, it's going to be a tall ask, blah, blah, blah. We, you know, probably need 4 out of the last 6 to win, to give ourselves a chance, and we still need other results to go our way.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was like, fuck off, mate.
Stop it. Just stop
You've
it.
been relegated before. Start there.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
have this record.
Yes. You haven't been relegated out of the Premier League, but you've been relegated.
Right. And you need to start qualifying that comment. Excuse me.
I mean, this is of no offense to West Brom, because first and foremost, give credit where credit is due. The boys came to fucking play. And unfortunately for them, their ownership is very short-sighted and decided we need to get the obvious quick save choice in Sam Allardyce when he was not the right coach to coach your team, especially the style of football and the type of players you have. You've mortgaged, you know, money to bring in the right players for, quote, Sam's system. It doesn't mean it's still going to work, and there could be long-term damages to your club when it gets down to the championship because of this.
100%.
What I'm hoping for here is that this happens, and that Big Sam then, you know, we stop looking at him as the golden savior. And then maybe next season, because I can tell you now, he won't be the coach of West Brom when they go down.
No.
He'll move on.
Yep.
He won't stick, or he'll start the season and not give a shit, and the team will have a terrible start in the championship, and then they'll finally let go of him. But he's not sticking around for any.
I don't think he is either. I don't think the club's big enough for him to stick around.
Right. And
honestly,
I hope
didn't he bring West Ham back up or something?
Yeah, he brought West Ham. Well, he had a pretty decent season with West Ham where they finished 10th one year and were doing pretty well, but
it wasn't them. He walked into a championship drop once and brought them up.
It might have been them. It might have been the West Ham.
A much bigger team.
It might have been the West Ham.
Okay,
gig.
I don't remember who it was, but for some reason that sticks out.
But for me, hopefully this puts to bed that notion of, go get the coach that will save your season, like that'll just keep you up. Don't worry about that as a club. Worry about the right coach for the right system that's going to help you grow as a club. And if that means you go backwards for a little while, it means you go backwards for a little while.
The problem is these billionaires treat their teams as they want that TV money, man. They want to be thereabouts in the Premier League, and survival is absolutely key. There will always be a place in the world, as long as the money's floating around like it is, for somebody like Sam Allardyce.
Well, the good news will be is that there's be a blemish now. There's a blemish now on the record. He's not a guaranteed deal. So the next time he tries to go get a job like he did with Everton and got a huge payday for it, this next club can look at him and go, yeah, but remember that last time?
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving you fucking $30 million to do this gig. No, I'm not, because the last time it didn't work.
Callum Robinson's goal needs to be applauded.
My God.
First one.
The one he just rifled up in there.
The volley. That was fantastic. The second one was pretty as well. The other kind of dink over Mendy. But that first goal for Callum Robinson was absolutely brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fantastic volley, side-footed, still had pace on it. Perfect. It was perfect.
Man just needs to play against Chelsea because he's got 4 goals against them in 2 matches.
No shit.
No goals outside of that, but 4 against fucking Chelsea.
If he could play against Chelsea every week, he'd be fine.
He'd be doing great. So Pulisic gets the opener for Chelsea, but then goes off at halftime as he runs onto the field. It looks like he pulled a hamstring or something.
Supposedly, that's what the statements say.
Ugh.
It didn't really look that way, though.
Yeah.
And Timo Werner was supposed to be substituted, I guess, but then was allowed to come back onto the field. Once you put that card in with the referee, I think that
should be it.
You're done.
And then they had already used their first sub on Christensen, so that should have been, oh shit, you're down to fucking 9 now.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
So strange. Well, somebody went on for Pulisic instead, but that paperwork should have already been done.
Right.
So I don't know that he actually did hurt himself. I don't think Christian Pulisic's going to have a nice time at Chelsea while Tuchel's there because, remember, he had him at Dortmund after Klopp.
Right.
And
That's true.
they didn't get on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's gonna go here.
Well, it's the good thing about Chelsea is Chelsea's not afraid to fucking loan somebody out. So you could see a Pulisic going to a West Ham, Everton, Leicester type right away.
As an American, you want him playing at one of the top clubs.
I mean, you want him fucking playing full time though.
He's been at but his body can't handle that. We've seen that before already. But he's been at Dortmund, right? Second best in Germany perennially. Always in the Champions League. Chelsea, for the most part, always in the Champions League.
Yeah.
You know, he's at these clubs and making these waves, and Captain America needs to be in that style.
Yeah, true.
So if they, loan him to Napoli or loan him to one of the Milan clubs or Juventus or somebody that's of that ilk, if you're going to loan him out, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I think. But I just don't think he's going to have a great time until Tuchel moves on.
So the second goal was scored by Mason Mount, and the bigger question isn't the fact that Mason Mount scored it, is that Timo Werner didn't. When he was inside the 6, and all he had to do was put it away, and he passed it. I pose you this question, Sam. Has Chelsea / the Premier League broken Timo Werner?
Could be.
Because we saw what happened to him over the international break.
For Germany, he didn't do too well either.
Because inside the 6 apparently goes in row Z.
Yeah.
With an open net.
It's a tough one. I think he's just completely devoid of confidence. The only reason Thomas Tuchel is even in the job is because he's a German speaker.
Yeah.
And that was a lot was made of that in the press prior to keep Havertz and Werner happy.
Right.
And
right.
I don't know if they just don't speak English and can't understand, but I think they've both done press conferences.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the issue is going on with those two players, because Havertz also has been shite since arrival.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's scary times. They spent a boatload of money on those guys.
Yeah, and it's hard to think for Chelsea, like, okay, are they going to fall back into the pack again since losing this one? Or do they lose this one because of the red card and they kept playing the system they were playing and they just got taken advantage of?
They just got taken advantage of. I mean, this is like some, they got taken advantage of like paperwork that Big Sam fills out. Pretty much. Kind of stodgy in the way in which he handles his businesses.
Very true.
But they, in my honest opinion, I think this will be a one-off. I think nothing like this will happen again under Thomas Tuchel. There hasn't been many things that have happened this way. He has one kind of standout result that sucks. Remember his time at PSG was losing to Barcelona in the Champions League after being up 4-0 and then losing 6-1 at the Camp Nou. And then at Dortmund, he got walloped one time in Der Klassiker. And the German biggest derby of Dortmund and Munich. And but other than that, results were pretty fucking consistent. And he even said in his post-match, he turned around and said, hey, I guess, better that everything goes wrong at once than a lot of little things over a long period of time.
True.
So we lost our heads today. It wasn't good. It was a bad performance. Part of that's my fault. We're going to go back and come back stronger. And I honestly think that they will.
Well, to all the baggies out there, pour yourself a pint of Cabernet and enjoy the win. Someone got their groove back. Unfortunately,
it wasn't Sammy.
Their title is now relinquished as their rivals again eliminate them. Liverpool 3, Arsenal 0, Manchester City 2, Leicester 0. You came out tidy, Sam. Like I said at the intro, until Jota, you boys looked fine.
So it was, the plan appeared to be stay compact, stay organized, stop them from scoring, play on the counter, i.e. Leicester. Our front line suggested that. Laka, Alba, and Pepe.
Yeah.
3 of our quicker players.
Yep.
You had Odegaard in there to be the quarterback, the James Madison of the group, if you will.
Float up passes to them on a quick transition.
Yep. And we didn't do any of those things. And then eventually we fucking got beat in the air by a relatively short player in Diogo Jota, which is ridiculous. And then for the second goal, Bird Leno came out and defended his goal like a $5 hooker during Fleet Week. He just came out with his fucking legs wide open. Pass it here. And Mo Salah duly obliged.
Yes, he did.
And then Jota again because our heads were fucking gone. And, it's just stupid. Once that first goal happened, you knew we were going to go chasing. And once we started to chase, we were going to leave space in behind. And that's really where the second goal was made. It wasn't all Leno's fault, to be completely fair. Gabriel and Mo Salah should not be in a fucking foot race with one another.
No, not at all.
Not something you want as an Arsenal supporter. And that's, allowed him to go in on goal. Now, the third goal, though, it was bad. It was bad. It was really, really bad.
Looking to Liverpool as well, it seemed like everything started to click again. And I want to say, if I'm looking at it, I get it. I'm an Evertonian, and I'm always going to have a biased opinion. But amazing what happens when you take your best holding midfielder and you have him play, I don't know, maybe holding fucking midfield?
Yeah.
And you go with two regular center backs and you stop asking Fabinho to be a fucking center back and you let him do his job, which then means Thiago's able to do his job and Milner's able to do his job. And then when you insert Jota in, you're able to move Milner back and be able to be expansive. Why? Because one fucking guy is back there doing the job he knows how to fucking do.
Yeah, and that's, they talked about that on the desk. And one of the things that they said that I thought was pretty poignant was is at that point it's risk management.
Yeah.
You take two experienced players, big players, and you trust their backups to do a job.
Right.
But they're backups for a reason.
Right, of course.
Right, as opposed to going with two very young players that are inexperienced at center back and leaving your midfield intact. And arguably, I'd say that's why Jordan Henderson is on the sidelines right now, and that's the entire reason why they went on such a bad run.
Yeah.
But now Fabinho's back where he belongs, and look what happens.
Yeah.
Now, we helped them greatly achieve that.
I mean, you guys just assumed they were going to come at you with an onslaught that they haven't had in a very long time.
I know.
And you were like, well, no. Reputation has it that you're able to do this. So we're going to allow you to do this, which, I mean, again, you guys... Yeah, the wall held till it didn't, and then when it didn't, it was bad.
Oh, the dam broke. Yeah,
it was bad.
It's like Leicester's 5-2 against City, right? When they won earlier in the season, they didn't play particularly expansive football. It was all counterattacking. They stayed competitive. They played the type of football that Jose Mourinho watches the tapes and masturbates to. It was all defense, 4 chances, 5 goals from it. How does that happen? Fucking only Mourinho knows. That's the part that makes him come. That's the point.
Four chances, 5 goals. That's the title of the show right there. I love it. The Trent Alexander-Arnold feeling the snub from the England team obviously had himself.
He was mad as shit.
Now, if the man, hold on, we got to let Sam take his shot.
I was going to let you pontificate on this. Bottoms up.
Okay, you go ahead and enjoy that. The one thing that I think old Trenty boy forgot about is that
that stuff.
When being a right back, part of the job is called back, which means defense.
Yeah.
So this was a match where the other team chose not to play any offense, so you didn't have to play any defense. So it was very easy for you to go forward.
One or two times he did have transition saving tackles though.
There was
a couple of times that he intercepted a ball, up. He defended higher up the pitch, sure, but there was a couple of times we tried to play out, and he actually himself stopped that attack.
Right.
And you could see the reaction after Jota's opener, after the header, what it meant to him to provide that assist, and knowing full well that he put himself back in Gareth Southgate's plans with that particular play.
Who's the fucking rookie that had his ringer on? Oh, that was me. Sorry. Yeah, my phone just went ding. I went, oh my God.
Is it wrong that I immediately started looking at my phone again?
Yeah, you should have.
Thinking it was me again.
Oh. Sam, since you already took your shot there, just one last thought, and then we'll move on to the next game. Are you happy with Arteta's reaction in the post presser? Because he was not fucking pleased at all.
Yes and no. I think he was honest, but I think he may have been a little too honest and may alienate a couple of players as a result. He obviously had a game plan. The players didn't execute. It was obvious in what they were doing that transitional play was not going. They just weren't going to do the running. Period.
We're not going to muddle tonight. We're not playing out of the back. And
then the players on the outside and up front didn't run as he thought they were going to.
Right.
And
which sucks.
It just didn't work.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate. It's I expected when I was seeing the 0-0, I'll be honest with you, I had to run out and do some errands, and I had my phone on me, and it was about 60 minutes, and Jota came on, and I walked in to do it, to run my errands, and I come out, and it's 3-0, and there's 3 minutes left in the game, and I go, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Went back and watched it all and went, Jota happened. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently one man completely changed the complexion of the game.
100%.
Like your whole team went, oh shit, it's Jota. We're all going to die. Oh, man. So moving on to City. Right back at it. Right the fuck back at it for them.
Yeah, Leicester didn't play the way in which I thought they were going to play either. They actually tried to play some football, moving through the lines, and City ate it up.
Yeah, City's not going to let you do that.
A couple of bad giveaways, losing possession too cheaply, all that sort of stuff. Leicester just didn't have it. They just weren't on their game. Both sides did have a disallowed goal for offsides in the first half.
Yep.
Jamie Vardy's, I think you could kind of see Leicester's body language change a bit. Not Jamie Vardy's because he's a swat and doesn't care. And
right.
He just does what he wants.
Right.
Anyway, so he, will have been just pissed off and more motivated by.
Exactly.
And I would also, if I was the referee's assistant, be very scared, to be honest. But City just dominated. It was pretty intense. Kevin De Bruyne again making a huge difference, as he always does. And then Raheem Sterling being quite poised, actually. Gabby Jesus in transition. Pass of the season from Kevin De Bruyne to start that move.
Oh, that was sick. Past two sliding defenders from Leicester at different spots. One was higher up. Like when they show it from the goal angle, it's coming down and you see one slide from the left and miss it and another slide from the right and miss it.
Yep.
And you just watch it just threaded right between the two of them.
And perfectly weighted so Gabby Jesus took it in stride. Right. Played it first time over to Sterling, which causes the defense to react again.
And then Sterling, right
to
back
Johnny
over.
Evans' credit, and to, I think it was Fofana maybe, that made it over. They forced Raheem Sterling into cutting back into the center of the goal.
Right.
Kasper Schmeichel made himself big. Sterling obviously didn't have the chance himself, but he had the composure to find Gabby Jesus, who continued his run. Right, from the initial pass, and he was able to tuck it home in essentially an empty net. And how fitting that on Easter weekend, Jesus scores.
Jesus scores. Thanks, Jesus. So Madison gets
Mel's
back.
going to try to sell you on that one as a showtime.
Oh, I'm sure.
It looks like.
Jesus scores. Thanks, Jesus. I could be sold on that. Anywho, the Madison finally back up to health again, gets on the pitch. No sooner than 10 seconds onto the pitch does Fernandinho decide to whip out a blackjack and smack him upside the back of the head.
No shit.
And the remainder of the game was James Madison getting just mugged by everybody. And I found it kind of rich because De Bruyne got him one time real hard. And then about 5 minutes later, he's in a scuffle with him. He's grabbing his jersey. He's pulling on him. And Madison's kind of throwing his arms out of the way. And right at the end, like barely grazes De Bruyne's head. De Bruyne grabs his head, throws his knees up in the air and falls on the ground and starts rolling around like he had been fucking mugged.
No, who was there's a black dude for Leicester. No, it's not Ndidi. But it was
Mendy.
his other midfield partner
Mendy.
for Leicester.
Yeah, it was Mendy who did it, not Madison who did it. Yeah.
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 And that, I mean, he could have been, there was like 3 swings he took. He could have been sent off. Now, he didn't make a great deal of contact, but it definitely could have been violent conduct. I mean, he was trying to hit him in the back of the head.
I just liked that the minute that happened.
No, it was fantastic.
Well, when he did the fall on the ground and roll around thing, immediately Pep was like, "Yep, getting him off right now. Let's go ahead and get Foden on."
And 100%.
Because he's going to get a red because he's going to go after somebody.
100%.
You can tell how fired up De Bruyne was.
Yeah, but it was bad from Mendy. I mean, he very easily could have got himself a red card in that situation if they had looked at that again.
I will say, watching that match,
Do you not agree with that?
I mean, yes,
the
and
way
no.
in which he swung his arms, it looked like he's throwing punches at the back of his head.
I felt like De Bruyne was grabbing it on him and trying to get at him just as equally. I think
gotcha.
it was,
but how many times do we see that little French kiss headbutt result in a red card?
Oh, yeah, of course. I agree. I agree that it could have been seen as violent conduct. I'm glad that they did not see it as violent conduct. Yeah. But I just watching that part of the match reminded me very much of the time that, last season at the opening of the season when Manchester City beat West Ham 5-0. That match in particular, and it was something that James and Chris both talked about, and they're absolutely right. City gets away with a lot in the middle of the field. Like, Madison comes onto the pitch, Fernandinho immediately mugs him in the regards of it should have been a straightaway yellow.
Yep.
They allow him to then foul 4 or 5 more times before he finally sees a yellow. So
maybe
it's like,
Thiago confused this referee for the one that was in their game.
Yeah, so I think that there's a little bit of leverage to be said in the case of City that they get away with a lot in the middle of the fucking field. They get away with an awful lot when there's, we talk about, the stars get the calls. Not necessarily the stars. They let them get away with it.
Yep.
They do a lot of mugging in the middle of the field. But anywho, Foxes are getting healthy at the right time. Do you think that they're a year wiser than they were last year?
I think so. I think
I do too.
I think they'll finish in the Champions League places.
I very much agree. I really think they are.
They're getting healthy at the right time as well for the run in here at the end of the season.
And the right role players are playing well. Mm-hmm. With Iheanacho doing a lot of scoring, and then it seems like if Evans was hurt, Sonyochu was healthy. If one of the two of them was hurt, Fofana's healthy. It seems like they're not being forced to go to like Wes Morgan on the center backs. Their outside backs where they've lost one, like Castellana got healthy again, Pereira got healthy again. It seems like everyone's kind of, if there's an injury, it's exactly the right injury because they have exactly the person to plug and play, it seems.
Exactly. Can I give you a little help on the pronunciation for that, gentlemen? Sure. Lasagna Castagna.
Castagna. Okay, very good.
That's how I go it.
Excellent.
And I meant do it, not go it.
Heard.
Which is a weird way to say do it.
Rounding out the rest of the league. And so that happened. Leeds 2, Sheffield 1, Southampton 3, Burnley 2, Newcastle 2, Spurs 2, Villa 3, Fulham 1, Man U 2, Brighton 1, Everton 1, Palace 1,
the Houston
West Ham
Derby.
Yes, it is. West Ham 3, Wolverhampton 2. I got to say, just for storyline's sake, I didn't put some of these games into the upper part, but these aren't all so that happened games because there were some really exciting games.
Oh, good, because I was about to explain why I'm doing this podcast under protest.
But all that being said, this first one definitely deserves to be an so that happened. Leeds, the better team, beat Sheffield, a team that's going down.
Yes. Sheffield actually in this game, though, I will say, pinged the ball around. They looked more lively than they have previously.
They fought. They evened up the game. They fought.
Yeah. Since Dean left, they this is the best they've looked since he's gone. Because they literally looked like somebody, the girlfriend broke up with him out of the blue and they were just going through the motions for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So this was good to see from them.
A lot of shower sitting, a lot of singing all by myself.
Only God knows why by Kid Rock.
A lot of carry out Chinese and pizza and eating ice cream out of the container.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
But Leeds definitely deserved it. They dominated play for the most part. But Sheffield United looked a little bit better. They're going to go down. There's no question about it. That's kind of the end of the story. Jack Harrison with a lovely goal. It was completely made by Rafinha, who had himself a hell of a fucking game.
Gorgeous build up and play down the line, and then a brilliant pass to the middle.
A touch lucky at one stage, but it was fantastic from Leeds. I'm
telling you, that's a name we're going to be saying a lot next season. Really
Rafinha?
Yeah,
I'm with you.
He's growing.
I don't think he's going to be at Leeds either.
Oh, you think somebody might come for him, huh?
I think they will.
Yeah, well, and if you're Leeds, fucking bank, make them pay through their fucking noses for him, because the guy's
50 million.
Legit real talent. He's real fucking good. He's really fucking good, and for a Brazilian, he's built for this league. You don't have a lot of that, most of them are more built like Neymar and less built like Rafinha or Richarlison, and can take a beating.
Rafinha's still fairly slight, but he doesn't seem to do all the diving and shit. I think it's more attitude, because you get two types of Brazilians.
Yeah,
you get hard as nails, Gilberto Silva. You get those types of players. Even Gabby Jesus doesn't do a ton of diving.
Right.
Richarlison does a fair amount of diving.
Richarlison doesn't
take a hit.
Richarlison doesn't dive. He just oversells the fuck out of when he gets fouled.
He
Neymars it the minute he gets fouled, though.
But Neymar rolls to fucking KFC on something he didn't even get touched by.
Right.
If you remember that meme video.
The rolling.
So funny.
Yeah, it was. There's really not much else to say about that match. Leeds did exactly what they're supposed to do, and I think the rest of the way, Leeds will dispatch the teams that are lesser than them, and they will lose to the teams that have something to play for, and that's going to be it the rest of the way.
I did feel bad for Jagielka, your old boy.
Oh yeah, with the own. Well, I mean,
and Sheffield United's his boyhood club. He had to make an intervention because Rafinha was at the back post.
That's precisely it. That's one of those own goals that you look at and you go, okay, either it's an own goal by you, or it's in the back of the fucking net. Yeah. So you just have to go for it.
What it means to him. Oh, he's a boyhood supporter of the club. That's why he's finishing his career there, and that's sad.
Egan's been on the bench a lot lately, and Jagielka's been fucking playing, and I think Egan might have been one of the problem children that Chris Wilder was talking about on his way out the door.
Could be.
Definitely the case.
Could very well be.
Here's one of those matches that should not have been an OSO that happened, but it just didn't work into it. What a fucking game. If you got up early to watch Southampton and Burnley, woo, you were treated to a match, man.
Well, the other thing is Southampton, I think this was, they are now 1-9 in the last 10. This was their first win in 9 games. It was fantastic from them.
And it's funny because the first 30 minutes of the match, it's all Burnley. And we had talked about it before where we're like, you know what? This is the kind of match where Burnley's going up the table, Southampton's going down the table. Burnley's going to do exactly what they need to do. And you see 2-0 after 30 minutes. You're like, all right, done and dusted. Burnley's fucking got this. Yep. And then Southampton just turned it the fuck on.
Yeah, it was Stuart Armstrong, Danny Ings, and Nathan Redmond. And Danny Ings' goal, I mean, it was very uncharacteristic defensive mistakes for at least 2 of the 3 goals.
Yeah.
Possibly all 3, in my opinion.
Could have been a couple more goals, too, because Pope was on his fucking head in that match. He had like 3 or 4 decent saves.
Yeah. But Danny Ings was allowed to literally waltz right through and fucking, which led him to tango with Nick Pope. And then he cha-cha'd the ball right in the back of the net.
Now you're trying too hard.
But it was a fun game to watch. It was end of stuff. And Fraser Foster had himself a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Chris Wood, the save that comes to mind is the point blank header from about 4 yards out. When the ball evaded, kind of bounced through off a free kick.
Yeah.
And diving header. And Fraser Forster just made himself, he's already a big fucking lad anyway, but made himself very big. And for all of Bert Leno's shortcomings when spreading his legs, Fraser Forster made the shit happen and got the save done.
I would say one on that ball in particular, worth mentioning was that definitely VAR. Why aren't you looking at that?
Yes.
The Burnley defender, I wasn't sure if it was Tarkovsky or me, had all of Chris Wood's jersey, like all of it, like practically.
I think it was Tarkovsky.
He was wearing Chris Wood's jersey. Chris Wood no longer had a jersey
shirt on, yeah.
But you let it slide because he got off the header. That does not. Well, what if he got off a clean header? If he gets off a clean header, I don't think it matters. I think that ball's in the back of the fucking net. So why isn't that really looked at? Like, the advantage shouldn't be, oh, well, he got away with the header and the keeper made a great save. It should be, motherfucker had 2 handfuls of his jersey pulling him backwards, and he still got off the header. Like, that should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
It really should have been.
Absolutely should have. So, I mean, you're right. Southampton are a bit fortunate.
Oh, yeah.
But Nick Pope also made a couple of great saves. You know, so it could be said that Southampton were fortunate. Fraser Forster, I'm sorry, made a couple of great saves.
Yeah.
So Southampton were fortunate on both accounts.
Fortunately for Southampton, this pretty much solidifies it. You're safe now. You don't have to worry about it. Not that I think they were ever really in trouble, but they're one of those teams, the way they've been dropping, you could have seen them finishing in like 16th place, and you just going, Jesus, you were at top of the table at one point.
Yeah.
6th week of the season, you were top of the table.
You know, what's also very funny is it was 9 games that they lost.
Yeah.
And then they won 1.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, they were 0-9.
Yeah, no. I see what you're doing. You like bringing up that
It
9-0
just follows
stuff.
it right around. I'm contractually obliged, like you are, to bring up the 5-0 City West Ham. I am contractually obliged to bring up the 9-0 and how the number 9 is very unlucky for Southampton.
Yeah, you just want to, needle Kenny, don't you? That's what it really is.
Yep.
Heard. Very good. Neighborly love.
Cannot wait till the next Green Space happy hour.
Spurs fucking give it away again, and apparently Steve Bruce thinks they were the better side. In his presser, we were better. I'm like, motherfucker, you see the Kane should have scored 5 on you.
But they actually had more shots, and Tottenham only had 10% more possession than Newcastle did. So I don't necessarily disagree with Steve Bruce in this particular instance on this particular day.
Game should have been 5-0 Spurs before it was 1-0 Newcastle, for fuck's sake.
So once Tottenham took the lead, right? Once Tottenham scored the first Harry Kane goal, they didn't register another shot on target for 30 minutes and change. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Newcastle were peppering, and Lloris had himself a decent game. The second goal of the season for Joe Linton.
Yeah.
The Newcastle number 9.
Hold on.
Absolutely pitiful.
Alan insists that you call him Joe, Linton, his government name. Remember.
It's Linton, Joel.
Yeah, government name. Gotta call him by his government name, for fuck's sake.
Joe Willock, obviously, nabbing the equalizer, which is beautiful, and he said himself in his post-match, a little bit sweeter because it's against Tottenham. Mel, you'll remember Joe Willock for being on loan at Newcastle from the mighty Arsenal. So getting one past the old enemy, which is always lovely to see.
Yes.
Son made his return.
Yep.
Too bad the Dutch tulip hasn't yet.
Well, moment of silence. Thank you.
Yeah, but
you know what?
The children are happy. Make-A-Wish Foundation is up and running. Everything's good. Son's back.
Son does it for the children, Sam. The children, Sam. All right. Well,
when Son walked onto the field, I could hear Andre Gomez's ankles.
he went off. He went off with an ankle injury today.
Oh, fucking hell!
I'm amazed. The fucking commentators didn't go, oh, well, he had an ankle injury before, and Son still feels really bad about it.
Yeah,
and the world feels bad for Son. I like the fact that Bruce is standing up there being all chesty about how well his team's played, when the only change he has made to his side was take a keeper who has had a really, really good season and replace him with a keeper who had a really, really good season the year before. Mm-hmm. For no good reason. Like, there's 100 other changes you can make in your lineup, but the lineup I'm going to make is I'm going to switch the goalies.
Well, St. Maximon's back from injury. Miguel Almiron had himself a good game. The younger Longstaff brother, Sean, back from injury, which is good. So things are looking like Newcastle's still going to go down, but they're going to go down with a fight.
Yeah, I'm not sold. I'm not sold. Even with what happened to today, which I don't have listed on the notes, but we can go ahead and still talk about it, because if you look at my notes, I did Newcastle, Tottenham, and then Manchester United and Brighton, which is missing one thing: Villa beating Fulham. So Fulham get a goal on an awful mistake from Tyrone Mings. Yeah, thank you, darling.
Now,
I had to unmute myself.
what I will say about Tyrone Mings is he was busting his fucking ass to get back.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't I fucked up, god damn it, oh, look, he scored while he's
No.
still on his knees.
It was a bad pass from midfield to a bad pass to Konsa to a bad pass to him.
As soon as he touched the ball,
Yeah.
he knew what the fuck he did, and he busted his gut to get back. It's unfortunate he didn't, wasn't able to stop the goal from happening. But he was, giving his everything to do it, and that's positive to see. Because if that was David Luiz, he'd have made the bad pass and been like, oh, shit. And just stood there and watched it happen.
Yeah,
No, come on.
Mings
David Luiz would have clipped the guy and at least gotten a red for it. Come on.
That might be fair. That might be fair.
I did though notice as Martinez goes down for that. I'm sorry, Martinez. Which way are we doing this?
Martinez. He's a Martinez.
Martinez went down. He did reach up to try to grab Mitrovic's leg as he goes by him. But at least Mings got some redemption and got the assist on, was it Trezeguet?
Trezeguet's first goal.
That gorgeous assist.
It's fantastic.
I was going to say, if it was Jota in your match, it was Trezeguet in this match.
Damn
He
straight.
comes on the pitch, boom, brace.
Game
like
changes.
that.
Yeah,
Brace.
game completely changes.
Oh, and then almost immediately, I'd barely hung up with Lindsay when Trezeguet went boom again.
Yep, right
Yeah.
again.
It was fantastic. And then Ollie Watkins actually got the last one, which is good for him. Needed that.
Yep.
To also give Gareth Southgate another selection issue for the summer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be, apparently there was England Twitter going nuts and saying that they should sack Gareth Southgate before the Euros, with no competitive games left before the Euros, because there is the chance that he may select Jesse Lingard over Jack Grealish. And if he does, sack him. But England Twitter wants the FA to sack Gareth Southgate because there's a chance he might do it.
I'm sorry, Jack who?
Damn. Jack,
That's heavy coming from you.
Jack is hurt, has not played in a while. And
About a month and a half, isn't it?
And Lingard is arguably the hottest fucking player in the Prem right now. Like, seriously, probably
No, it's still Andre Gomez. He's still the hottest player in the Premier League.
I'm talking about most informed, not beautiful.
Not
I mean,
prettiest.
yeah,
Not prettiest. Sorry.
I mean, Gomez can get it. But anywho.
You know what I'd love to see him in? He's a hairy boy as well.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him in an Herbal Essences commercial.
With the hair.
You remember those?
Waving the hair around,
Yeah.
yes.
Sexual appeal to sell shampoo.
Yes.
You remember the women used to
Yes.
moan in the shower and shit?
yeah. And then they come out of the shower and she's like, "Oh, I want her shampoo."
I
Yeah.
mean,
Dude,
I can
12-year-old
tell
me
you,
just got a little boner.
I can tell you why women moan in the shower, but that's the kind of thing we do on DU After Dark, aka Patreon. Which, how can people find that?
It's very simple, actually. You just go to your internet browser of choice and hit www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow and sign up to one of the top 2 tiers to get all of our extra content. Now, almost all of our extra content if you do the middle one.
Well done, whores. Anywho,
I told you, Bird Leno, $5 whore, right at the docks.
moving on. Welbeck scores for the 3rd time against United. It's
Fuck
the
yeah.
most goals from a former United player against United,
It was great. It was a
And-
lovely little finish as well.
and yet the Seagulls give it away
Of course they did.
again.
Yep. Of course they did.
Again.
Why wouldn't they? That's what Brighton does. I told you, they are a tequila sunrise.
Yeah.
Graham Potter's a tequila sunrise. The drink looks great, but it's tequila, orange juice, and grenadine. It looks a lot better than it actually is.
It just a frustrating match. No, it's not frustrating. It's expected.
Yeah.
It's fucking expected at this point.
It's expected.
Yeah, this is what we
They've been
expect
doing it all
from them.
season.
Yeah, it's. I look at a team. I look at teams like Fulham who have the pieces. They're just not all clicking right. And I like the manager and I like what they're doing. I don't like the manager of West Brom, but I actually like the pieces on that team. They've got some really great, young, talented pieces that are just being screwed over right now.
Yeah.
And then you see teams like, you see a team like Newcastle, who I like the pieces of their puzzle, but the coach is a complete fucking jack off. and their owner doesn't care about the team at all.
Yeah,
and then
the guy putting the puzzle together is an idiot.
Yeah. It was very easy. Last season you looked at the teams that went down. It was like Watford, it was like, you know what? Good fucking riddance. It's time you go down. And you looked at Bournemouth and you're like, yeah, you've overstayed your welcome. It's time to go down.
Yep.
And you look at teams like West Brom, and again, despite the fact of Big Sam being a complete jack off, you look at him and you go, at least there's pieces there that deserve to be here. Or you look at Fulham and you go, there's pieces that deserve to be here. It's not as easy as it was last year. Last year was just like, nah, fuck, we're ready for y'all to go.
Yeah.
And Norwich, you're like, okay, you're going to go down, and we'll see you again in a year, because they're going to come right the fuck back up.
Yeah, looks like they are, absolutely.
Well, and that's the example of keeping a coach. Not that I think Farke's anything brilliant, but
very, very good at the topics.
The topics. But you have someone that you come up, you play your style. Sure, you go down, but the idea is you keep your formation, you keep your style, and you come right the fuck back up.
Well, the other thing is you take the TV money, you go down,
reinvest it,
you win the league, and then you have that TV money to actually buy some players.
Yeah, and then you go and you sell a few key assets. You go ahead and sell a Godfrey to Everton,
right,
and you get $30 million for him because of bonuses and stuff.
Right,
So,
and then you also sit on your $115 million TV money, and now you can invest $70 million in 2 players.
Manchester,
absolutely right, and get your parachute payment on top of that.
Right.
Fuck. They're rolling in dough over at Norwich.
Let's wrap this up quick, because we still got prediction time and all that craziness to do. The Manchester United, Pogba back on the pitch. Really, this is the I assume audition me to sell me time for Pogba.
Could be.
You know,
did he have a new haircut? I didn't see the game.
It was really blonde. He was very blonde.
Really blonde.
Really
I was
blonde.
dealing with the Riyad Mahrez route.
Yeah, bringing that back out again. I would have expected a little bit more from Manchester United, considering that you just got eliminated from the FA and the Europa League. I would have thought more of a statement game from them. They get the win, which is good, and you can't, I mean, if you're a supporter, you can't complain. It's 3 fucking points. Just thought there would have been a little bit more style on it, a little more stink.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have just been a little more interesting.
If it's good, it's stank.
Little stank,
little
right?
stink. Can't say a little stink.
Everton Palace. Everton have all the opportunities.
I think that one's got some potential, Mel.
Yeah.
You can't say little stink.
Anywho, the Everton have all the chances.
Now we're back to the little stink Derby.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And the Berjan Sam Darby.
You're really trying to get this little stink thing over.
It's definitely not going to be it.
Hey, listen, coming from our sound check, which is one of the things you can find on the Patreon.
We're at 50 minutes, for fuck's sake. Let's do the fucking show.
Is that I'm better at transitions than he is.
No.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I have jokes, and I'm going to refrain. Everton really dominate the match, but it's a deserved point from Palace, because Guaita stood on his fucking head and made 6 saves, including 3 dead to right one-on-ones.
Yeah, I was working, so I only got to hear a lot of this on the radio in between stores, and then I got here just after halftime during the West Ham game, and luckily Mel took too long cutting flowers, and we were able to see the highlights from your match. So I did get to see a bit, and Guaita made some fantastic fucking saves.
Amazing saves. Even on the goal, he made a gorgeous goal line save on Gylfi that got popped out to James.
These which James actually put away.
It came out to
Seamus Coleman, wasn't it?
Yep, and Seamus passed it
back to him. Yeah.
That was a curving ball that went wide of the post and then cut in between Guaita and the inside of the post. There was maybe a foot of space there. I mean, even that. It was nasty.
The Roberto Carlos free kick that's so famous that goes about 3 feet wide of the post and comes back.
Yeah.
It's that, just on a less scale.
Yeah.
So maybe a foot wide of the post and comes back in.
And like 1 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
And a rocket.
It was on his weaker foot as well. Yeah. But no, Guaita was absolutely fantastic in this game, and really made saves that Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin should be looking themselves in the mirror tonight going, what the fuck did I do here?
Both of them boys could have been on braces today.
They should have been on braces today because that's ridiculous. I mean, it was well done from Guaita, but and Pickford made a couple of decent saves himself.
Olsen was
made a couple of decent saves himself.
You let the game, you let Palace have a chance. They brought on Batshuayi, and Batshuayi put it in the back of the net with a nice goal.
Also a decent goal.
Yeah, 2 points lost by Everton. Really sucks. One thing worth mentioning, after 2 long years, one Mr. JPEG, Jean-Philippe Gbamin, actually made an appearance for Everton. He's healthy. Both legs work. How about that, Sam?
Wow.
I know.
I forgot he played for y'all, to be honest.
I was like, hold on, is that JPEG coming on? It's fucking JPEG.
I didn't know it was there.
Jesus Christ. Final match of the week had, again, West Ham getting off to a rip-roaring 3-0 lead.
Jesse Lingard at the heart of all of it again.
He deserves to be on the fucking England squad.
I know.
He's
had
the most informed player in the league right now, period, end of discussion.
Obviously,
he really is.
The opening goal. He had the hockey assist for the second goal, and then had the real assist for the third goal.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful display from him. And Jared Bowen coming off after Mikel Antonio going on with a fine finish. I don't know what in the fuck Rui Patricio was looking at, but you have to know Jared Bowen's left-footed. That's all he ever does is score with his left foot.
Right.
And he got beat at his near post at what seemed to be, at least to me, and I'm not a goalkeeper, but it seemed to be a comfortable height.
Yeah, exactly.
Something a goalkeeper should be saving. And it wasn't, in my opinion, like a particularly, it was well hit, but it wasn't like a rocket. It wasn't a particularly extraordinary effort. I don't know how we got beat at the near post like that.
For Wolves, you got to be pleased with Silva, the kid, getting a goal, and that you showed and that you showed some fight. You know, he gets a goal from open play, and it's just again, you showed some fight. That's a good thing. You know where you are in the standings. You know how this is all going to play out.
Yeah, but
for you.
They need Raul Jimenez to come back as fast as humanly fucking possible because they are, they are shit.
So leads me to the final thought as we wrap this up here, or as you like me to say, Sam, put a bow on it. Tell me again why West Ham doesn't deserve to be in the Champions League.
They don't deserve it simply because their owners are cunts. The Dildo brothers I can't stand. But on their own merits, on the team's performances, on the manager's performance, he deserves to ferry him right back across the river Styx into, paradise, which is Earth.
And they did this today without probably one of their biggest key players, Declan Rice.
Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Convince me why they don't deserve to be there, because honestly, this is the team I picked in 20th place. They deserve Champions League.
He's got a big old weird looking thumb.
Who?
Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Did you see the photo of his doing rehab? I'll be back before you know it, blah, blah, blah. And he's got like the compression thing.
I was too busy looking at the compression thing. What's
on
up with
his
the
leg.
thumb?
I was just giving a thumbs up. The thing looked like a dick. It was huge.
Gigantic thumb?
Massive thumb.
Are we going to start seeing Declan Rice giving thumbs up to photos, much like Harry Maguire pointing at things?
I hope so.
It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time. All the humans lost. The chicken won.
I'm starting to hate this segment. Starting to really hate this segment.
You got fucked right out of the gate. The very first game with West Brom and Chelsea.
Big time.
You are now down $1,065. What do you have for us this week?
So my cup of losers that I need to feed actually first are Dort's Spirect sponsored cup of losers. Mine says, I got Chelsea smiled.
I got Chelsea just smiled.
Yep. A big old bloody frown at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead.
Why were you looking so confused?
Right before you do your bet here, I'll go ahead and give you mine, Sam. It says, fuck it, I'm a shitty better, but it's still better than Graham.
All right. Careful. You're going to get banned from this podcast like you did Facebook.
That's true. I am insensitive when it comes to talking about betting.
Shitty bets. All right. So this week I have a DU parlay.
Oh, no.
I'm betting Villa, Everton, and Arsenal. Okay.
Well, at least you fucked all of us.
Here, yep. Here are, and you're the only one that's going to win. I have Liverpool beating you. I have Arsenal beating Sheffield because Sheffield sucks. And then I've got Everton to beat Brighton as well. And they turned me back plus $623.
Excellent. Well, Pat can't join us because, like we had mentioned before, he's coming back from playing golf down in North Carolina. So he's currently in Fredericksburg in traffic.
Oh, how the other side lives.
And he did email me yet another bet, which lends me to believe that he was probably texting and driving again.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
All right, let's read this. The 7-week itch. So looking ahead, I have 7 weeks to get somewhere close to even, being that I'm down $1,775. Yeah, let's try to get back to just minus 1,000. So this week, I'm going to take a 2-game parlay. First, I'll take a team who hasn't lost since January, Manchester United, against Spurs, and they're minus half a goal at plus 130. I saw that, and I had to take it. And my second game is kind of a gamble. I feel Liverpool might want to redeem itself for the 7-2 pummeling of Aston Villa that they'd put on them earlier in the year. So I'll take Liverpool minus the 1.5 at plus 120. On a $100 bet, this pays out $405. You guys have a great week. Hope to talk to you next week. I'm driving back again from North Carolina in spring vacation traffic up I-95. Fun. Yeah, there we go. See, told you. He was doing it again, driving and texting. I missed, so I'm now down $620. But Sam, it has been documented in Vegas. When Jamie effing Vardy doesn't find goals, first he cuts a bitch, and I'm a mesmerizing 35 memorizing. I am fucking awful at English.
Mesmerizing?
There
we go.
35-0-1.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
You know what I don't fuck up, Sam? 25% of the time. It works 100% of the time. I'm going to take a couple of underdogs.
1 out of 4. It's so bad. We suck at this.
We really do. I'm going to take a couple of underdogs in matches that mean more to them than their opponents.
We got to get fucking Kornacki in here.
Yeah, we do. First, I'm going to take Fulham to beat Wolves, and I'm going to take West Brom to beat Southampton at plus 770. So I'm going to bank on teams that desperately need to win versus teams that pretty much figure they're safe and really don't give a shit. So that's how I'm going to go about it. That was a segment, and I blame myself because I'm the one that apparently can't speak English. So, but we give you more. Someone who speaks English better than I do. A chicken.
Well, Kitty hit with Man U, and she sits at 15-16. So this week, I gave Kitty Chelsea, heading to Selhurst Park to face Palace. Now, Kitty was quick to show me a picture of her with Busta Rhymes and Lil Wayne.
Go figure.
Oh, yeah. They were in the studio laying down their tracks for Chris Brown's Look at Me Now from back in 2011.
Well, she gets around.
Now, you probably don't know this, Graham, but Kitty used to sell beats. And she's been with the boys for a long time. And so, because both Busta and Lil Wayne support Chelsea, Kitty is picking them to beat Bridgean's Crystal Palace.
Apparently the sickest of beats. The sickest of beats.
Yeah, that's how she phrased it to me. But, I have a good reminder for everybody. And that is to please remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
Sam, I'd like to say there was a bus going by, and I'm not going to throw anybody under it. Go ahead, talk about fantasy.
What does that mean?
My computer crashed.
Oh, fuck.
It's okay. We're recording right here, so keep going.
Oh, okay. Very good. You
All
want
right.
to take note of that? That the computer crashed? Yes. Take note of that to edit that out, please.
I have no timestamps to write it down on.
Oh, okay. Got it. No problem. All right. Anywho.
All right. The fantasy portion of the show is brought to you by Sam being firmly in second place, only 1 point behind Ray after I beat his ass 36-33. Woo! Survived 2 late red cards by Jesse Lingard.
Yellow cards.
Or yellow cards, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have survived the red cards, actually. I survived 2 late yellow cards by Jesse Lingard and Thomas Suchek. Keith took out Russ 44-36. Elliot lost to JB 37-27. Allen lost, which helps me, to Smokey. He beat him 54-40. Kenny almost doubled up Her Highness, which is rare that I've seen, 50-26. Taylor's team made me laugh this week. Team name, yes, indeedy. That's pretty fucking
fabulous.
Good. Yeah, it's not bad. Still lost, though, to Geckel 29-21 because he's a cunt. 35-26.
Wait, Geckel scored a low amount of points and won?
Yeah. That is funny.
Go figure.
I didn't even I missed the whole lead on that one. That's pretty good. You beat Firehawk 35-26. Good sir, and then Alberto took Rob out 26-18.
Oh, Alberto been on a little burner since doing that shot on Malort.
I know.
Alberto, more Malort, man.
So that leaves you, Ray, still in first, only by a point, though. Me in second. JB up to third. Alan down to fourth. Keith, Lindsay, Elliot, and you are 5, 6, 7, 8. Smokey up to 9. Rob down to 10. And then the whole bottom of the league stayed where they are. And that's 11th through 16th. Taylor, Alberto, Russ, David, Geckel, Kenny, and Firecock.
Is sitting in the golf spots.
Boom! Done.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Sam, any parting words?
Yeah, I want to make everyone well aware that Skodran Mustafi has played 6 games for Schalke, lost 4 of them, and fell out with 2 managers in his time there since January.
Oh,
It's not Arsenal's fault. We didn't do it to him. He sucks. He's terrible.
He just sucks.
He's just the worst.
Just want to blame him.
That's it.
Feel bad? You feel better now that
I
you put
do.
that on him?
Makes me feel a lot better.
All right. Excellent. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Next up is Injury Time, where we go ahead and preview the next weekend's action. We talk about the beers we've been drinking, and we rant and rave about all of the little weird things that have happened throughout this show currently. Sam, how does one find Injury Time?
It's very simple. Like I told you earlier, it's www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow and sign up to either the $5 tier or the $9 tier. Why is it $9, you ask? Funny, $10 is too fucking much, all right? So you sign up to one of those 2 tiers and you get both our sound check and the preview show, Injury Time, which is just super amount of fun because it's more us.
And one last thing, a quick shout out to one Miss Producer Mel. Well, Mrs. Producer Mel.
She is married to you, you cunt.
I know. Would be good if I remembered
You
that.
should know that.
Fuck off. I'm trying to say something nice to her.
All right.
Congratulations to her show, The Loud Women's Club, which has made top 100 on New and Noteworthy on Apple Podcasts over this past week. And I know speaking for both of us here, Sam, we could not be prouder of the work that she's doing. And way to fucking go, girl. Way to fucking go.
Thank you, guys.
Very well done.
We were featured on New and Noteworthy, but we're in the top 100 in society and culture.
Very
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
You know what this show doesn't belong in?
Society and culture.
Society or culture.
Because there is no culture and we don't belong in society. That's for fuck sure.
I do want to end on a very funny note real quick. Just a sidebar behind the curtain, little peek. The Mel's computer crashed, right? Mm-hmm. Why does the computer have a sad face for you? Rubbing it in. Hey,
terrible.
I crashed. Just, listen, you crashed. Fine. You fucking crashed. I don't need the sad face. Don't need the sad face. Don't be a cunt, Del. Okay?
It's really talking down to me. Like, I feel worse with the sad face.
DVAC, Del. DVAC.
All right. So that being said, until next week, everybody.
Guten Nacht.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Don't you get that?